Why is it that some graphic designers seem to land high-paying clients without breaking a sweat, while others who are just as talented struggle to get noticed, let alone getting paid what they are worth? You have probably spent countless hours perfecting your design, but you still feel like you are stuck in a circle of no-paying gigs. Have you ever felt like you are the best designer in the room, but somehow the clients keep slipping through your fingers? The truth is, your design skills alone aren't the only thing that will make you successful. It's like those soft skills that people hardly talk about that could be holding you back from breaking through. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you are missing and how mastering these skills will completely change the game for you. I am Deborah, your freelance bestie. I've been designing for some couple of years now. When I first started out, I was obsessed with perfecting my design skills, but I quickly realized that my technical abilities alone were not enough to take my career to the next level. One thing I learned early on is that you just can't rely on your design portfolio to get ahead. The real magic deal happens when you're able to mix those design skills with the right people's skills. And let me tell you, it makes a world of difference. I've worked with different kinds of clients, and those soft skills helped me to avoid a lot of headache. So if you are looking to work smarter, get better clients, and feel more comfortable about your work, you are in the right space. Let's jump right in. Alright, let's start with the most important soft skill, communication. And I don't mean replying to a message which sounds good. I'm talking about communicating your ideas in a way that makes clients trust you. It's not just about talking, it's about making sure you're on the same page as the client. And I will give you a quick example. When I first started, I worked with a client who wanted a modern design. So a graphic designer, that sounds clear and simple enough, right? I thought I nailed it with a smooth lettermark logo, which I sent to the client. But when I sent the design, they were a bit disappointed and said it was missing something and it wasn't that unique enough. I had no idea what they meant until I asked more questions, and it turned out that they wanted something with lots more details, like a pictorial symbol. I realized I hadn't asked the right questions up front to really understand what they meant by modern. I also remember sending a client with a logo concept and like, this is it, and the client was like, how did it come about this? Could you please explain? It taught me something crucial, that if I cannot explain the why behind my design decisions, how can I expect them to see my value? Do you know that 80% of professionals believe that poor communication is the root cause of like most project failures? That is so huge. So here's my point. You have got to ask the right questions to really understand your client's needs. Don't just assume that you know what they need. The more you communicate, the better you communicate, the easier it is to meet their expectations. When you can confidently articulate your ideas and guide your clients through your process, you will not only stand out, you make them feel like they have found someone who gets it. And that's how you get repeated business, referral, and yet higher paying clients. Next up is time management, and I know time management feels like a cliche, but hear me out. How many times have you taken on a project, think I'll just figure it out as I go, then suddenly it's midnight and you are still tweaking that logo you promised yesterday? Here's a strategy that changed my life: the time blocking method. I scheduled specific hours for research, design, client updates, and everything. When I started doing this, I found that I was delivering projects faster and with way less stress. When I first started freelancing, I took on every project that came my way, thinking I could handle it all. It didn't take long for deadlines to start overlapping, and I felt like I was always rushing. I would even be working late into the night and stressed out, and that's when I decided to start planning my time properly. Now I break my projects down into manageable tasks, and I set realistic deadlines. I even use simple tools like sticky notes and notepad to keep track of everything. Time management is all about knowing how much time you have and breaking your work into small manageable chunks. The more organized you are, the less stressed you will be. The less stressed you will be, and the better your designs will turn out. Before we continue, if you are finding these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's jump back in. Here's one soft skill no one talks about: emotional intelligence. Understanding how your clients feel and adjusting your approach accordingly. This skill is everything. Picture this: you send a design draft and the client replies with, "This is not what I have in mind." Ouch, that's what's right. But instead of getting defensive, someone with a strong emotional intelligence would pause and ask, "Can you share more about what is missing for you?" That one question could save the whole project and relationship. Learning to read the room, whether it's a client meeting or a tricky email, could be the difference between losing a client and landing a long-term partnership. Let's talk about patience. This one is tough, especially if you are dealing with difficult clients or tight deadlines. Durations can feel endless and some projects just take forever. But with patience, you learn to stay calm and focus through the process. I know it can be frustrating if a client asks for a change that doesn't make sense to you, but you have to be patient. I remember this one project where the client kept asking for a change that felt like small details, things I thought were irrelevant. At first, I got annoyed, but then I realized that these small details were important to them, and by showing patience and offering alternatives, I was able to keep them happy. Patience is key because clients need time to process their feedback. You can't just rush them and you can't rush yourself. So take a deep breath. Keep things professional and give yourself the space to produce your best work. It will make the whole project feel smoother. Let's talk about flexibility, because in this industry, no two projects or clients are the same. It's not just about being open to a new idea. It's about rolling with the punches when things don't go as planned. I remember one time a client made me like the night before a presentation, and they just found out that the audience was going to include like special people, not just the regular internal team, and they wanted the design to shift focus a bit. My first thought was like, no, there was no way. But instead of panicking, I wrote down what was realistic to deliver in that short time frame and prioritized the changes that would make the biggest impact. And guess what? The presentation worked well and the client was pleased. Did you know that 79% of employees value flexibility as one of the top skills in their workforce? Now, that's because being flexible doesn't just solve the problem, it builds trust. Clients sees you as someone who can handle pressure and deliver results even when the unexpected happens. So next time you are faced with the last minute changes or an out of scope request, take a deep breath and focus on what's possible. And flexibility isn't about doing everything, it's about finding the best solution with the time and the resources you have. Now, let's talk money. Negotiation can be a bit hard, especially if you are an introvert like me. The first few times I worked with clients, I always felt uncomfortable asking for a certain amount of money because I was just too afraid. But when I started understanding my work, upgrading my skill set, I could confidently say this is how much it costs and here's why. I also offer different package options so that they can choose the one they can afford. And it works. If you are offering top quality work, you deserve to be paid well for it. I read somewhere that 70% of freelancers don't negotiate their rates, and that's kind of true because I've also been in the same position, literally leaving money on the table. You should know that you are not just selling a design, you are selling a solution, a transformation. Don't be afraid to negotiate the rate. And also, there are books you can actually use to help you develop these negotiation skills. Alright, I've covered the first 6 soft skills that will set you up for success as a graphics designer. But don't go anywhere just yet, because in part 2 we will dive more into essential skills that will help you better yourself and grow your business even faster. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and I will see you in part 2.